All right. Great. Let's start the session then. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We have a fireside chat with a pretty big panel. So I'll introduce all of them to you. So we have Richard Marr, the General Manager of Asia Pacific at Auth0. We have Victor Robin, the Engineering Manager at dunnhumby. We have Nirbhav Bharat, the Vice President of DevOps at Lambda Test. And we have Vivek Suryamurthy, the CTO and the co-founder of Everstage. So today's discussion will be about building modern identity for scaling SaaS applications. All right, so I'll leave the panel up to you. The stage is yours.
Thanks, Gautam. Thanks for everybody joining. I'm glad we finally got here. I was a bit worried we were going to miss the bus to make it here, right? So we all got here in the end. So just by way of introduction, my name's Richard Marr. I head up a business called Auth0. And what we basically do is if you're a SaaS business, you need somewhere for your users to log in and reset their password, or if they want to sign in using their corporate credentials or use MFA, we basically give developers these building blocks so they don't have to worry about that. So it's not very exciting, but if you get it wrong, it can cause big issues. And it's probably not the core focus of what a lot of SaaS businesses want to be focused on. They probably want to be focused on innovating. So we're going to be having a bit of a chat with the panel that we've got here today and learn from their experiences. Our hope is that everybody sort of takes one or two things away from the conversation that they can learn. So before we get started, I might get the team to introduce themselves, who they are, a little bit about their business so they understand what SaaS platform, what software they're building there. Victor, I might start with you if that's okay.
Me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hi. So my name is Victor Robin. I am an engineering manager at dunnhumby. So quickly on dunnhumby, it's kind of the world's first customer data science platform. So we work with retailers to help them leverage their customer data to implement a customer-first strategy. So I lead the development of Model Lab, which was originally an internal product for machine learning automation that was used by our data scientists for our clients. And because we had good results with it, we decided to take it externally and offer it as a SaaS B2B. So Model Lab is 100% cloud-based, runs on Azure. dunnhumby has a gold partnership with Microsoft, and it's multi-region and multi-tenant. And it's during this journey from internal to external that we started using Auth0 as our identity solution.
Got it. Okay. So you're basically a SaaS platform that helps retailers and other brands sort of perfect the science of shopping, right?
Yeah, apply machine learning on the data more effectively and reliably.
Very cool. Okay. Vivek, tell us about yourself and Everstage.
Yeah, so my name is Vivek, co-founder and CTO of Everstage. So Everstage, we are in sales performance management space. So we're building a sales commission software tool to calculate all the commissions of salespeople, and also to make the DevOps team's world easier. So you can imagine that we're dealing with a lot of sensitive data there, and it really becomes a mission critical requirement.
Yeah, if salespeople don't get paid, I've seen it myself. It's a big problem. So great. Okay. Thanks. You're a SaaS platform to do that. Right. Okay. And then Nirbhav, tell us about Lambda Test.
Richard?
Yeah.
Richard, sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, so the voice is echoing a bit. I'm not sure from where.
Okay. I can turn down my volume. Maybe the other people, when they're not being spoken to, they could mute. Is that okay? That might cancel the feedback.
It's better now, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Tell us about yourself and what you do at Lambda Test.
Sure, Richard. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for the acquisition. So it's a pretty recent news, and it's good to have for any company. So congrats.
Thank you.
And about myself, I joined Lambda Test, and I'm good at scaling the DevOps processes in the startup ecosystem. Prior to this, I was with Lenskart. I was scaling the business DevOps operations for the whole India region. Now, coming to Lambda Test, I think it's a very fantastic company. It's a pure DevOps company. And what we do is we help engineering teams and IT operations to actually scale their cross-browser testing operations, or you can say the testing on these devices, mobile devices, browsers across the globe, right? So that post-COVID, what really has changed is the infrastructure management, which was happening in the offices, has become really trouble. And what we are doing is at the cloud area, it actually helps every engineer to test all these across. There are a lot of combinations which comes across, and we have solved that at scale.
Wow. Okay, so you're again a cloud-based platform
Yeah.
for cross-browser testing across iOS, Android, different resolutions, different devices, Firefox. Do they still have Internet Explorer?
Yeah, we do support Internet Explorer as well.
Okay. I didn't know that was still around. Okay, great. Okay, so cool. So maybe, unless I've got this wrong, let me just make some assumptions here. And you guys either tell me thumbs up or thumbs down, right? So you're all in the cloud. You're a cloud-based SaaS platform. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Right, okay. You're in one of the major clouds, AWS, GCP, Azure, something like that. You don't have a private cloud, right? Okay, great, okay. I'm assuming you're all fairly modern, you're CI/CD, hopefully microservices architecture based, not too many monoliths there. We microservices, or we're making the way? Okay, great, all right. Wow, I'm doing well here, like 3 out of 3. I never guessed. So tell me, and maybe, so I get a sense, right, you know, modern developers, they got their laptops with lots of stickers on it, lots of MacBooks, I'm assuming, all that good stuff. Tell me a little bit about, you know, and maybe Victor, I could start with you. What was the problem? Why did you start talking or looking at an identity solution? And please don't sell Auth0, right? It's more like, what was the problem? I'm keen for everybody to hear here, what was the problem? You know, why did you even go out to market? And then maybe Vivek and Ibab, you can jump on the back of whatever Victor says and builds on that, if it was anything unique for yourselves.
Yeah, so as I was saying at the beginning, it was an internal application. So we were within the realm of our, you know, the NumB behind the firewall and everything. So once you start going outside, you know, you expose yourself a lot more. And our application runs on our client data directly, which is customer data. So it's pretty sensitive. So our security requirements are super high. So there cannot be, you know, we cannot afford any mistakes on that side. So we could have chosen to expand our existing framework, but it would have likely required lots of work and, you know, lots of risk, more primarily. And it's also not what I would have liked the team to spend time on. So going something like Auth0, you know, just you have hundreds of developers focused on just one thing, you know, so there's no way we can compete with this. And in terms of what we're looking for, federation was the first one. So we wanted to federate like our internal user with the NumB's SSO, external clients as well with the SSO, but also allow, you know, individual to, you know, smaller companies to sign up on their own without, you know, they don't necessarily want the enterprise version.
What was the thing that made, like, you had an internal app and then you were going to start taking it to market and making it external? So that meant that it changed the user base, right, to do that.
Yes.
Was that the reason why, the core reason why that, like, I guess you built an identity service authentication authorization already, and then you had to change the frame. Was that the reason why that you started?
So it was not designed for federation of external users and so on. And we also wanted very granular RBAC and authorization control for within the application because we have a microservices architecture. So we wanted to be able to control things very precisely. The rules that you have in Auth0 were definitely one of the features that we really liked, because that was giving us even more control in terms of the login flow, how people were logging in and so on. So that was one of the, another one, yeah.
Got it.
And it was all in one place and, you know, very easy turnkey solution.
All right, so let me play back. So, yep, you had an identity service that wasn't meeting your requirements for where you were taking your platform, and you could have built it. You got lots of engineers, smart guys, I'm sure, but it was like, should I invest in doing that, or should they focus on innovation? Vivek, tell me, same, different, like what was the problem that you were looking to solve there at Everstage?
In our case, it was slightly more from business angle where, so when we started, we started early last year. So it was just like a team of 5. So it's a pretty lean team, and our target customers were more of mid-market and enterprises. So you can imagine we cannot just build a small MVP and launch. So we have to build a solid product which is competitive with the existing players. And in our case, we also deal with a lot of sensitive data, as I mentioned. It's about pay, it's about how much commissions the salespeople make, and also the pipeline of the company, right? We kind of integrate with CRMs. So Auth has never been in the background state. It was always a mission critical feature. But at the same time, we had a lot of core features to build out to really beat the market. So it was a no-brainer right from day one. We wanted to go with the solution. These days, you take any medium-sized SaaS company, they kind of rely on 50 plus other SaaS products. So that's the trend we are going in. And the decision to go to a SaaS product was not a big decision. We kind of had that in mind. When evaluating, Auth0 was very user-friendly, and I personally integrated so during the early phase. And we were about we took about 1 week to integrate and get going. That was it, and we were pretty much focusing on the core product in the remaining time.
I guess that's similar. It sounds like to Victor, where you recognise for your market. I think you're both B2B, right? You're dealing with retailers and brands. You're dealing with businesses that have salespeople that deliver commissions. So being able to allow them to authenticate to your SaaS apps easily and simply and securely was critical, but it wasn't where you wanted to innovate. You wanted to squeeze that problem to us. Okay. Nibab, tell us about Lambda Test. Anything different here? Same story, same movie? What are we talking about?
No, I think for us it is a little different. So our business model is also different. So what really matters is the integrations, right? So we are providing browsers in Selenium and cloud, right? So all this testing needs a lot of integration because the every company has their own set of technology tools, and the ease to get integrated for these engineers, right? It has to be seamless. They really don't like any curly braces in their exception on the screen, right?
Engineers aren't fussy, are they? Come on.
Yeah, we are. So to make sure these integrations are fine, we also support a lot of in our product. But when we started,
Nirbab, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, so there's a bit of echo. Not sure from where. Yeah.
Maybe Victor and Vivek, if you want to just mute while Nibab's talking, it might be a bit of that. We'll see.
All right. And one last thing, we have a couple of minutes left for the session.
Okay, we'll get to it. Speed dating. Here we go.
So see, for us, the integration was much more important, right? So a lot of customers already have Auth0, right? And we started seeing there is a little spike in the number of incidents. People are struggling to get their integrations done. So they need federation, they need universal login in their disposal, right? So it was a very easy choice that we really want to give our customers the best product out there, and it was Auth, right? So we had to pick that. And the second was the integration, the ease. Our engineers and our customer engineers are going to integrate. So that flexibility, the integration, the ease, all these things, and the features, they were like so gel in that it was in our best interest to actually focus on the core business rather than actually invest in this area.
Got it. Okay, good. Listen, I know, because Gotham is going to pull the ringer in a second if we don't wrap it. But I think one thing I'd like to know, like for the people out there that may be considering not building identity, you guys obviously considered and said, I'd never do that. It's crazy. It's another product in itself. I want to focus on innovation. What was the core, if you had to pick one thing that you were looking for in a solution when you evaluated identity, what was the one thing that you'd say, hey, it was critical, it did this, or this was a critical requirement? Maybe I'll start with Vivek. He looks like he's got an answer there. What was the one core thing that you were looking for?
SSO.
Federation. Okay. So this is like SSO Federation where I can sign on to your product using my corporate credentials, right? And you don't need to give me a username, password. And if I get the sack, and they get rid of me, I can't access the product because they've killed me out of the IDP. Makes sense. Okay. Victor, what was the one core feature for you? Same, different? What were you looking for in terms of ease of use or anything?
Yes, same. And we also like the way you implemented RBAC and authorization. It was very user-friendly to create permission, user roles, like include it into the GWT token. They have the backend interact with your API. So that was definitely the simplicity, and your documentation is very good as well.
So developer, I'll encapsulate in that developer friendliness, because they're not fussy developers. Engineers aren't fussy, as we said, right? So, Navid, we've got the last say here, mate. What were you looking for?
So it was primarily our customer, the easy onboarding for our customers.
Okay, make it simple, easy to get new customers on board to the SaaS product. Listen, I'll wrap up now. If you're interested in learning more, we've got a great booth. We're giving away T-shirts with the little Auth0 symbol. Come and have a chat. If you want to learn more, we've got a really nice booth. It's virtual, but you can get some real stuff there as well. I want to thank all you guys for being part of it. Glad we got there in the end, and I look forward to doing it again. Thanks again, Gotham. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you.
If I can I just say one last line? We got the professional services from Auth0 when we started using it, and they were just not showing us how to implement Auth0 properly. They were also looking at our application holistically as a whole, and they told us, what does a secured application on cloud looks like in 2021. So they also helped us consolidating, improving the whole application, and that's something we were also really appreciated. It was making sure that how we use Auth0 would be successful end to end, not just the top part.
Not just trying to sell you a product, right? Help you with the end game where you're trying to achieve.
And that helped the whole product grow and get much better. So that's something I wanted to point out in terms of how Auth0 interact with the client.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. Thanks, everybody. Gotham, thanks so much. Thanks, Victor.
Thank you so much, all of you, for joining. Take care. Stay safe. Have a good day.
Take care.
Bye, guys.